It's Steve from the garden, and today I'm doing an experiment growing sweet potato slips. And when you normally see people doing this, they're using nice larger tubers for doing your slips. Well, what do you do when you have a bunch of these little ones like this? So I thought I'd do a little experiment, uh, doing it two ways, one in water and one in soil, and see if we can't get these little ones to produce some slips and be useful for the next year. Now, the variety I have left over from last year is Beauregard. I had purchased the slips. We grew a mix of like smaller ones and larger ones. I used the larger ones already, and I got a bunch of the little ones left over. So let's see what we're gonna do here. Okay, you can see I've got my water ready. I got just a 10 by 20 tray filled with seed starter mix I made. And I did pre-moisten this, so there's no dry spots or anything. And I got some toothpicks ready. I got these taller, longer ones I'm going to put in the glasses of water. And then these small ones I'm going to put in this tray with the dirt. Now, for these larger ones, I'm just going to take some of these toothpicks, just like you see a lot of people do with them, and I'm just going to go and puncture them and suspend them in this water. Now, you can see that there's a big chunk of it that's outside the water. There's a good, several inches that are inside the water. And I'm going to keep this stuff in my room where we have our computers at, where that room stays pretty much 75 degrees all the time, and it faces south, so it gets plenty of light. Now these smaller ones, like this, I maybe could get these in the water, but I want to try this dirt method here where I just kind of stick them in the dirt and see if we can't turn these little ones into something useful for planting this coming year. Now, given that this is middle of February, and I won't actually be able to put these out into the garden until end of May, there's a long time for me to go and see if this is going to work. And if it doesn't, then I have plenty of time to buy some slips ahead of time. If it does work, I'm hoping to get enough slips to fulfill all my needs, and if the slips start getting big enough, I can actually cut those and root the cuttings from the slips. So anyways, so here's our tray. I'm going to just give that some water. I don't want to totally saturate everything here, but just make sure it's got enough moisture to fulfill our needs. And then take a humidity dome and we'll put that on top to keep the heat and humidity inside the tray until they start to sprout. And then these other ones over here, we'll just finish these up. Stick them in the water. Hopefully they'll get started in the next 30 some days or whatever it takes, and we'll see if we get any slips out of these little ones. So that'll be more or less the setup. Okay, so that'll be our setup. I'll put these up in the computer room. We'll get plenty of sun, plenty of warmth, and we'll check back on these in 30 to 45 days. So this will be part one of this experiment I'm doing. And if we start getting some slips, I'll take those slips off once they get an appropriate size, put those in water so they can start rooting. And we'll see how many slips we get out of all this. I'm hoping we get a decent amount, and that they get started in enough time so I can order other slips if I need to, or maybe I'll go to the Whole Foods or something and pick up some organic sweet potatoes and try some slips that way. That'll be it for part one. Hit the subscribe button to follow along on this experiment. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and we'll see you on the next one.